Hello there everyone. This is just a test video for the new party. Let's just see how it goes. So, let's explain at least one basic concept today. What is a member of the proletariat? After societies began industrializing due to the emergence of the bourgeoisie and the advancement of technologies, particularly that of the manufactory, which allowed craftsmen to move and start employing labourers to gain their own wealth independent of the subsistence lifestyle that had existed for thousands of years prior. Anyway, these developments led to a more industrialised society, and over time, as people began moving into big cities, their identity changed. Instead of being disparate members of the peasantry that had fundamentally different class relations, they became part of one united proletariat. And proletariat just means working class in German, because obviously Karl Marx was a German. At least I believe that's what it means. Feel free to correct me on any of my claims. In fact, if you do so, I may even make revised videos. Anyway, the proletariat in this context is important because their relation to the bourgeoisie is what defines socialism. Or rather, more accurately, capitalism, which does define socialism. Their relationship to the bourgeoisie and capitalism is one of subjugation. They are forced to sell their labour to the bourgeoisie in exchange for survival, so their labour is held at gunpoint. This is functionally not different to a system of slavery, except you can choose your master. However, the reason that people aren't paid more fairly, and the reason that workers simply don't withhold their own labour to gain more of a higher standard of living, is because of a concept known as the reserve army of labour. And the reserve army of labour is a section of the population that is intentionally kept unemployed, so that whenever someone demands more rights and fairer pay, they can just be fired and one of those people can be hired, because they literally have to work, otherwise they will die. It's a pretty messed up concept if you think about it, but such is the way of capitalism. Anyways, the relation to the bourgeoisie defines capitalism, of course, since the proletariat is effectively owned and controlled by the bourgeoisie. Every state that calls itself a democracy is merely a state run by the bourgeoisie exclusively, a dictatorship of the bourgeoisie, and electoralism is simply a gauge of the maturity of the working class. Because if the working class becomes too mature, too class conscious, they can offer some minor token concessions, and that will break the majority of class consciousness, if revolutionary conditions have not already taken root. And let's define socialism in this context then. Socialism is the overthrow of the bourgeoisie. It is the complete rule of the proletariat, which is the truest form of democracy. As the demos were I believe they were the average peasantry in the ancient Greek world, and krasi means rule of. Democracy, rule of the people. And the state where the bourgeoisie has been overthrown and the proletariat is in complete control is a true democracy, so long as there are not internal class divisions within the proletariat, as found in a degenerating communist state. And the communist state degenerates when it stops adapting to the current material conditions of the world. That's what all ideologies have to do to stay, I guess, functional. It's not unique to communism, except communism uniquely has to do this. If it does not advance past the current, I guess, Overton window socially, then it will not truly be a movement of liberation. It'll become reactionary, like the dogmas held by groups like the Communist Party of Britain that are today transphobic and define like LGBTQ relations as identity politics, which is a fundamental misrepresentation of both LGBTQ relations and identity politics. Because identity politics are simply allowing some of the oppressed class to become the oppressors, and this doesn't fundamentally change anything. it doesn't impact the average gay person whether the person oppressing them is straight or gay, for example. It just means that someone's made to betray their own class and, I guess, social interests. You have simply convinced one person to become a token of the ruling class, to try and show fake solidarity. That is what real identity politics is. Identity politics is not, as the CPP says, simply expressing oneself as a part of the LGBTQ community. And so, that is all I have to say today. This was a short video about the proletariat, about identity politics, and about a bunch of other things. This is only the first time that I've made one of these, so it's definitely going to get way more ordered in the future. I hope you guys enjoy anyhow. Make sure to stay revolutionary. And the point is to change the world.